Hello, everyone. It's Tamara, and I've got friends with me tonight. We are live for the final reminder that Painters Clubhouse is closing tonight at midnight. So if you've been sitting on the fence trying to decide whether or not joining this community is right for you, I'm hoping that there is something that we talk about during this little paint and chat session that will kind of clear it up for you and help you decide which side of the fence you're ready to get on. So, I want to introduce to you, let me put our names up here. I should have done that. There we go. Lauren from the Painters Clubhouse. You guys have seen her a couple times. She was actually at my house the last 2 nights. We had a little sleepover and planned all the remaining details for Southern Adornments Live, and she's now back home. And then Marie Mosley is one of our Painters Clubhouse members. She also hosts some of our Zoom paint parties that we have, and she's taught several little lessons in the Painters Clubhouse. I'll let these ladies kind of tell a little bit about where they're from, what they do, how does door hangers play a role in your life? That's probably a good way to phrase it. All right, Lauren, you're up first.
Okay. My name is Lauren Martin. I live in Central Kentucky, just south of Louisville. I've been a member of the Painters Clubhouse since 2022, but I've been friends with Tamara for many, many years. And this entered into my life at a time when I just needed something for me. And to take some time away from being a mom and being a wife and being a teacher. And it kind of filled that hole. And then I ventured into, let's see what else I can do with this and paint them and sell them and do some door hanger parties on the side and just kind of have a good time.
Yeah. Awesome. Marie?
I want to say it was 2019 or 2020 when I came across Tamara. And it just so happened I was looking for a bow tutorial for my grandma because she wanted to decorate a gift. And it was
probably the worst bow tutorial you could ever find on the internet, by the way.
I was going to say, you had to have just been getting started or something because you had your phone propped up, you were in your kitchen, and it kept falling over. Wow. And I was like, I like this. I can relate to this. And then I stumbled upon your other videos, and I've always been an artsy person. But I just let it get away from me. And canvases are kind of intimidating, right? Because it's a big white square. It's a lot of filler there that you got to take care of. And you were creating shapes, like shapes out of wood, and there's no unused area of it. It's all right there for you. You don't have to try to come up with anything on your own.
So I was like, it's already kind of baked into what you're doing.
Yeah, so it was just an easy thing to follow along with. And luckily my husband grew up with a woodworking dad, and he's like, let's cut some of this out and you can just go do it for yourself. And then people are like, oh, that's neat, can I have one? And I'm like, well, sure. And then the next thing I know, I'm making them to sell. And then from there, I've grown into a paint party business. I have a studio. That's where I'm at right now. I decided to seek refuge here because my house was a little chaotic. Football in the South. Yep. And if y'all don't know, my husband's an Alabama fan. And last weekend, we lost to Vandy, which was detrimental. So it's getting really heated. I was like, I got to go somewhere. So that's kind of where I'm at now. I was a hobbyist and now I'm a business owner, and never in a million years would I have imagined that I would be sitting in my studio owning a brick and mortar.
Mm-hmm. That's the wild thing about it is, like, I talk a lot about, you can just sell one door hanger a month to pay for your membership, or you can do craft fairs or paint parties. I say that like a dozen times a day, I feel like. But I think the thing people think is like, well, I don't want to have to start a business. That feels like too much pressure. But you kind of stumbled into this, which that is what happens to a lot of our Painters Clubhouse members. They don't set out with the intent of starting a business. It just kind of develops naturally, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And now you've got a full studio and everything. And you teach CPR classes in the studio too, don't you?
Yep. So we have Suite E and Suite F. So they're right next to each other. And it's really cool because they're joined by a door. Mm-hmm. So I'll have people come to paint parties and they're like, oh, I need CPR for work. Or I'll have nurses that are burnt out and like, ER 12-hour shifts, 7 days in a row. And they're like, what's over there? I'm like, I do paint parties. And they're like, we're getting the crew together. We need a girls' night. So
that's a really great way to like cross promote.
Mm-hmm.
Smart.
Yeah, I always make sure the door's open.
Yeah, definitely. That's like free advertising.
Mm-hmm.
Sandy and Elizabeth are saying roll tide over in the comments. Sandy was going to join in with us tonight, but I think she's assisting at a haunted house with her teenage daughter or something. So glad you were able to pop in and say hello. I saw where Tahisha said she joined. So welcome, new PC sister. We're glad to have you. We've had, I think, a little over 180 members join over the last couple of weeks. So that's been really exciting. So I would love to know if any of you guys watching have questions for these ladies about, anything, along their journey or where they got started. Sandy said, yep, sit in the parking lot. Well, I'm glad we could be your parking lot entertainment. So like I was saying earlier, these ladies do a Zoom paint party. Like y'all are like the hosts of the Zoom paint parties. And so tell us a little bit about what those are and what they can expect in a Zoom paint party.
I mean, I think, we're just the host. We're just the people that sign on and are there under the account to make sure that everybody else can get in. It's really not anything about anything that we do. It's the people that come into the Zoom paint parties that lead the conversations and help us all have a good time and get to know each other and just spend time together just like we are right now, except there's 20 of us in there or 40 of us in there that are just hanging out to do that.
Yeah.
I guess if there's ever like a lull in conversation, we just kind of like throw out a little, hey, are y'all leopard people or striped people? And that right there is a frenzy of a conversation. So just to help, especially like after workshops, you have a bunch of new people in there and they're just kind of sitting there. Yeah. So getting people talking and interacting with each other. And we've seen people just become like instant best friends. And then next thing you know, there's like 4 people that are just leading the conversations. And then you see in the clubhouse, they're tagging each other like, hey, I finally finished my project. And so it's a really unique experience.
Back during, you said you joined like in 2019, Marie, a couple of different questions and then well, hang on. Let me say what I was going to say. I'm like trying to have 2 conversations at the same time. And I'm like, wait a minute. First thing I wanted to say was back in 2020, when we were on a COVID lockdown, we were doing these about once a week because everybody was so sick of being stuck at home and needed something. And this was kind of a lifesaver for a lot of people to have something to look forward to where they got to talk to people outside their home. The other thing I was going to say was you were at the Southern Adornments Live we did in Nashville.
No, I didn't get to make it to Nashville. That's when the tornado hit my community.
Yes. Okay. I could swear you were there when you had the blue braids or something, but maybe that was Dallas.
That was Dallas.
Okay. Yes. That was the first time I think I'd ever met you in person. That 2020 Southern Adornments Live was kind of nutty. We had it on my birthday week, first week of March, the weekend after the tornado had hit. All of our supplies were on pallets in a loading dock yard, like where they do like freight transfers. And that area got hit with the tornado. And so we were like, is our stuff okay? And it was halfway through the first day of the event before we actually got any of our decorations, our craft supplies, any of the stuff, which thankfully that year's event, we had already planned for to have like business for the first half of the day till lunch. We were going to have like business speakers. So we weren't doing any crafting. And so while everybody was at lunch that day, we got the room like decorated and the crafts set out and we were ready to hit the ground running by like 1:30 or 2 o'clock. But that was a stressful event. And then like a week after we all got home, the entire country shut down for COVID. So
yeah, which I was kicking myself. I was like, man, I wish I would have went because now I'm stuck at home. And of course I'm a homeschool mom. So
yeah, I bet you really were pulling your hair out then.
Yeah.
I know a lot of us kind of had to become homeschool moms that year doing like what we call NTI teaching at home. You became a homeschool teacher at home, Lauren, teaching through the computer screen to your students.
I was. I did a lot of lessons that I video recorded that year at like 9 o'clock at night or midnight because I was at home with my kids during the day trying to figure out how to do this like everybody else.
Right.
And I couldn't record those lessons when my kids were at home needing me. Emma was like 3 years old at the time. So
it's definitely
a lot of late nights.
Sandy says Zoom parties are a blast. So fun to see everyone each month. And then you know them when you get to SA Live. That's a good point. Sandy has been coming to SA Live. I think she's come to the last 2, and this will be her third. No?
This will be her second. Dallas, she was a virtual.
Oh, right. Yes. It feels like she's been coming to more of them than that, because last year she brought her daughter Charity, and Charity was actually an assistant in our vendor booth. And so she's coming back again this year to help out. Mary just pulled a casserole out of the oven. What'd you make, Mary? I made a TikTok recipe the other night that was so good. It was like it was supposed to be a blackened chicken spaghetti, but I didn't want to do spaghetti noodles. I wanted to use these protein noodles that I had, and so I used like penne noodles, and it turned out really good.
I got to stay off food talk.
I know, right? I have so many recipes pinned that I haven't even made.
I'm pretty sure my cousin and I send each other like 30 a day.
Well, Uncle Corey is the one who sends me TikTok videos. He's like, hey, we should make this. I'm like, he really means I should make this.
And I'll come over.
Yeah. If it's something on the Blackstone, it's usually him that will volunteer to make it because he loves cooking on the Blackstone. But if it's not, he means me cook it. So I'm painting a little nutcracker. We have a bunch of these that we're going to put in the vendor booth at SA Live. And so I'm trying to figure out how to paint this little guy. He's very intricate. And at first I painted his hair black, and then I was like, well, his hat needs to be black. And now his hair looks stupid, so I'm kind of thinking about changing it to brown.
I think his hair will be fine black.
You think? Okay.
I think so.
He reminds me of Lord Farquaad right now because he's totally got that like, hairdo on the sides. It's awful. Hello, dear. Hi. I love you too. Sandy's excited Uncle Corey's coming to SA Live this year. I'm excited about it too. He's never been before. Mary says it's a new chicken and rice casserole. It has butter, cream cheese, and cream of chicken soup. Well, she says she hopes it's good. I don't see how it can't be good with all that in it.
Yeah.
Sounds delicious. Hello, Brett. What you need?
So, Dad wants me to fill up Sugar's water bowl, water hole, and he said I can't use the hose by the pool.
I don't know. I'm not here to be the person to help you with that because I don't know where any of the hoses are. I'd say go ask Dad more questions or get Travis to help you.
I don't know. Dad disappeared.
Oh, me. Let's see. Did any of you guys get a chance to paint the festive flip door hanger? Or have y'all been too busy?
I'm working on it, but it's going to be different. I found these at a yard sale, these little square panels, and it came in a set. So I decided to do the pumpkin on one and the tree on the other.
Oh, that'll be fun. Lauren did one that was like an ornament size.
That's the only one I've done.
Well, in your defense, you were helping me. You were like my virtual assistant that day.
I was a little busy that week.
In the comments. Plus, you were teaching during the day. Yeah.
No, I used to paint in the workshops and get them done that week, and then now
Now you're my virtual go-to person for reading the comments and everything.
Yeah. No more painting. That's okay. I'll get it done
sometime. Michelle says, I'm in number 5 so far this week. I'm addicted. I don't know what she means by number 5.
Like number 5 on the festive flip one?
Holy crap. Have you painted 5 of those front and back? That's a lot.
It is.
It's impressive.
Are you selling them, Michelle? She's watching on YouTube. Sandy was prepping for a paint party during the workshop week. I hope it went well. Marie, did I hear you say you were saving up for a laser?
Yes.
Oh, is Santa going to bring you one this year?
Maybe after January.
What size are you thinking about getting?
The big one.
Big one. One big enough to do at least some door size pieces.
Yeah.
That's smart. Yeah.
I found one that breaks apart that I can get put in my basement.
Ooh, that'll be nice.
Yep.
We're thinking about trying to sell our Nova 24, the little bitty one, the baby laser. We still use it almost every day to cut small things, but we're thinking about selling it and getting more of like a mid-size laser that can take like almost a half a sheet of.
Yeah.
That way the guys can use that to cut small stuff and not have to like change it out every 20 minutes when it's done cutting. It'll be able to go for longer. Sandy said you need to get a 51/100. We can be triplets.
And then I know who to call if I have problems.
That's exactly right. Lauren, you had been shopping for a laser not too long ago. Did you, were there any like really good Facebook groups you were a part of that felt like they were helpful for helping you find a laser?
Yes, I joined a couple different groups. I joined an OmTech group because I kept seeing that name when I was searching for stuff. I didn't feel super confident in what I was seeing on the Facebook group side of those. It was not like the OmTech Facebook group, you know what I mean? It was like a private one where people joined and they're talking about them.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't like super confident in what I was seeing inside of that group. I joined several Thunder Laser groups and just kind of watching what people were saying in the groups and watching like for sale ones to come up in the group and looking for something relatively close to where we were.
I feel like I would rather do that than go out and buy a brand new one for this mid-size, you know. So I think I may have to start scouring the groups to see what kind of deals I can find and I don't know, go from there.
Yeah.
Mary says, buying ornaments, do you select the wood blanks and the digital file? I'm not sure how to navigate and find tutorials too. Do you think she's talking about wood cutouts or the actual like ornaments with the resin in them? Mary, are we talking about something like this? This is a kit. It comes with the wood blanks and the tutorials and the resin. But if you're talking about like just little wood cutouts like this, you would just select these in the size you want, 4 or 6 inches, depending on your ornament. Like this is a 6-inch little nutcracker. Okay, she says wood blanks.
Okay.
And,
So we totally had this conversation this week. Because something to think about when you're looking at ornaments is the detail that's in something. So it's one thing to paint them when they're door hanger size and they're 18 inches, but you can see those little bitty teeth.
Compared to my fingernail, look how tiny they are.
Those are little bitty teeth. So at the end of September, help me out. Where were those blanks that they had to have been the end of September because they're already out. Mm-hmm. There was a release of 5 door hanger designs that are all on rounds, and they have like a big icon on them. And some of them have words and some of them don't. There is an ornament one. There is a gingerbread. There is a Christmas tree. Those are the only 3 that I'm remembering right now.
I'm going to go find the image.
But there's 5 that came out that week. And I thought that those would make fantastic ornaments because at a 4-inch size, the icon that's on them, like in the corner, it's kind of like something is hanging off the edge of it. But so that big piece on there is large enough to still paint easily in a 4-inch size.
I was looking for the picture that I shared that Friday when we released them. The Friday 5. Oh, here it is. Let me download this real quick. But as far as tutorials go, it would just depend on if there was a tutorial for it that I've done in the past, like on YouTube or something. But a lot of our designs we sell in the shop don't have tutorials. Mm-hmm. That's what makes the Painters Clubhouse go so great. Every template you have in the Clubhouse has a video tutorial to go along with it. Okay, here you go. These are the designs Lauren's talking about. So these, even when they're cut at like a 4-inch size, have very little detail. They're not super intricate to try to paint. They've got just big shapes on them, so it makes it easier to paint them on a small size. I hope that's helpful. But Mary says that they are etched. Yes. So because they have that etching on them, just like my little nutcracker here that I was showing, you don't have to have a template. The design is already on the wood blank. So you just paint on there. For example, this one that I've already started, I painted right over his little face and you can still see his eyes. Whoop, it's kind of getting fuzzy. You can still see his eyes, and I'll be able to like go in there and add details.
And then they don't come with a tutorial, but there is the color image on the website.
Yes, you could just look at the picture. What other questions you guys have? I'm gonna have to look at the picture of this nutcracker to remember what his teeth look like. Like, I can't remember if the gums are a different color. Oh, okay, they're like a sort of a reddish color. They look kind of weird right now. So, Lauren, I'm cracking up. She and I painted together all day yesterday, and we used these little ice cube trays. So she put lids on them before we got done painting. This is the difference. This is hers at the top. This is mine at the bottom. You have like 6 colors. I have like 15 colors. Mine is.
You also painted a lot more than I did. Remember, I sat down and counted when we finished, and in the same amount of time, I painted 8 and she painted 12.
I still feel like mine are like super messy compared to yours, like all the colors in the tray and stuff. I was just all over the place. Mary says, what's the name of that Santa that's behind Tamara with the legs? That's Santa with the ribbon legs. So it's called Ribbon Leg Santa. And there is a tutorial for that one on YouTube and here on Facebook. I painted it live Tuesday.
I cut him out tonight.
He's going to be really cute. We are cutting out some of those right now on the laser out in the shop to sell in the vendor booth at SA Live. So I'll be glad to have some of those with us. I think people will like them. Raynette's asking how do you choose a business name? Do y'all have any suggestions for how to even go about that?
Think about what you like. Think about things that are about you.
What's your business name, Lauren?
That Cute Porch.
And why did you choose that name?
Because I love to decorate my whole front porch and not just my front door.
It's a whole scene. I even did a YouTube video with pictures of her porch, for example, because she does a really good job of not just doing a door hanger, but creating like a whole porch scape.
It's the pillows and like her little, it's very cute. I love it. Like your house looks so welcoming for every season and it's all coordinated.
Thank you. I went into the front yard now because my tombstones that I just painted are in the front yard.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. If you came to my porch, like I'm lucky if I've got a door hanger on the door. Everything else is just kind of covered in cobwebs and a mess.
Listen, the next time that I come, we are redoing your front porch.
Yeah, make it feel welcoming. I think you just need to come once a quarter and help me reset it for the upcoming season. It's sad. Marie, what's your business name?
The Crafty Palette.
And why did you pick that?
Because I like all crafts. So I didn't want to limit myself. So I didn't want it to just be Marie's door decor or something like that. So I can branch out to ceramics and thread art or whatever, and it would still be cohesive. And palette brings in the painting aspect as well. Like that's my main focus because I spell it like a paint palette.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea. Mine is Southern Adornments Decor, and I picked Southern because I'm Southern. I'm from Kentucky, and it felt like an identifier. Adornments. I can remember looking in the thesaurus for like words that were antonyms, synonyms. Yeah, synonyms for words that were like decor. Mm-hmm. And adornment was like a really far-fetched synonym. That sounds like cinnamon. Synonym. And I was like, oh, that's a really weird word. And that feels really distinctive. Not something anybody's really heard of. Like, I don't know. I thought it was very unique. And then I'm like, well, and I could put an extra O in there. And then it's like door, like a hint to the door hanger thing. But I threw decor in there at the end because like you, I didn't want to pigeonhole myself into door hangers. if for some reason I wanted to branch out in the future and do other things. And I mean, we do more than just door hangers. We have other crafts and things, but door hangers is definitely 95% of our business. And so I am kicking myself for making the name cutesy with the 2 O's, because it definitely has problems with people spelling it and stuff. And sometimes I think, oh my goodness, I should have picked a shorter business name, because if you have to type in like info@southernadornamentsdecor.com, it's the longest email you've ever seen. So, and then later on, I found out there is another Southern Adornments out there, but I think they sell children's clothing.
Mm.
And I think they spell it with 2 O's, which is the weird part.
That is weird, because I always put that straight to the door part of things.
Right.
Mhm.
So I don't know. It's very bizarre. And I'm pretty sure they were around before I was, and I had no idea that they existed. But hey, Christine. Marie says, how big is he? I'm assuming you mean my little nutcracker. He's 6 inches.
I think she's talking about the Santa.
Oh, he's 18 inches. But when you get his legs on him, he's more like 24 inches probably. Depends on the length of your ribbon legs, I suppose. Angela's not painting tonight, but cutting some letters for the Poinsettia Pocket, the Merry Christmas, and I actually am cutting out the flower centers. Ooh. Plus, she had new letters to redo the festive flip because her mother-in-law took hers. She said, I did it last week. My laser's too small to cut the backers. I have a laser envy of all of y'all who have laser letters, larger lasers. So there's your answer. Angela said she wishes she had a larger laser. You know, we had talked, Lauren, on a previous Facebook Live about people getting a small laser just to cut 3D pieces. That's only going to make you wish you had a larger laser to cut the big pieces. Sandy says, my business name was specific to what I was doing at the time, Quilted Treasures, and I never thought I was going to do anything else but quilts. So I had to add and more, of course. So now it's Quilted Treasures and more. She said, I get some weird looks. I understand the long name challenges, Tamara. Yeah. So I would almost, if I was having to come up with a business name now from scratch, I would almost like just do a brain dump of words that feel like they are descriptive of me as a person, of what I do, and something that like can clearly communicate what my business is all about. And then maybe just add some fun words in there too that feel like they fit, and then just kind of mix and match some together, or dump all of those words into ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to give you some suggestions for business names. I use ChatGPT for everything now. He's very helpful.
I have started.
Very addicting once you start. I even found myself messaging him the other day, and I'm like, what can I make if I have chicken and, you know, like named off a few ingredients? And he's like, he even came back and he was like, this is what you can make for dinner. This is how you do it. Step 1, do this, do that. I was like, that is brilliant. I need all the help figuring out how to feed these humans that I can get. It don't matter. I can cook dinner one night, and the very next night they want more dinner. Even if there's leftovers of last night's dinner in there, they won't reheat anything. Only me and my husband will eat the leftovers.
I take leftovers almost every day for lunch.
I used to do that when I was teaching too, and it was like exciting to get to eat it again the next day and not have to eat cafeteria food. Now I'll take whatever I made and I'll like portion it out in kind of like meal prep containers, so that we're not having to like spoon it out of a large casserole dish. It's just there and you just grab it and microwave it. Takes up less room in the refrigerator that way too. Marie says, how wide are the ribbon leg Santa ribbons? I think mine are about 3 inches. She said, I have a space that's 17.5 inches wide. He might be perfect. Yeah, he's not very wide. I would say at his widest point, he might be about 14 or 15 inches, like arm to arm on the sides. Michelle said leftovers are the best. And sometimes leftovers are better the next day. I know when Corey cooks hibachi over here, the hibachi leftovers sometimes taste even better the next day than they did the night before.
That's how I feel like about chilies and soups. Like the longer they sit, the better they are.
Amen. Sandy said, I'm really the only leftover eater at my house. I love leftovers.
I am ready for some weather to make chili.
Well, I made chili last weekend. You know how we had that little bitty cold front that came through right after that hurricane? It got cool here. And so I made chili last Sunday, I think it was. Yeah. Hello, Dina. Do we have any first-time watchers right now? I would love to know if anybody watching hasn't watched before, if you're new to the page. Emily says, my sister and I used Springmont Designs. We live in a town called Spring Garden, but my sister teaches at a school 5 minutes from home called Piedmont. That's clever. So you took Spring and Piedmont and made Springmont.
That's
Designs.
cute.
Stacy from Wilshire Collections named her business Wilshire Collections because she grew up on a street that was Wilshire Street or something like that. So that's where that comes from.
Oh, that's cute.
She said she gets asked all the time if that's like her maiden name growing up or something. She's like, nope, that's just the street I grew up on. If I named I feel like this is a really good, I should make this a Facebook post. If you had to name your business after the street you grew up on, what would be your business name? You want to hear mine?
Yes.
That's what it is.
Poor Farm Designs. I grew up on Poor Farm Road. It would be Poor Farm Designs or something like Poor Farm Decor. What would yours be, Marie?
Diddy?
Diddy, like P. Diddy?
No, with T's. Ditty.
I got you.
Yeah. I grew up in Diddy unincorporated.
Did he do it or did he not?
Oh gosh.
Okay, Lauren, what would yours be?
St. Andrews.
St. Andrews. That actually sounds kind of classy. Way better than mine and Marie's. Angela said Black Cat Designs. I grew up on Black Cat Road. For anybody else watching, drop in the comments what your business name would be. Put blank, whatever your road name that you grew up on, and then put designs after it. And this will be your crafty business name.
I really like alliteration though. So like Diddy Decor, Diddy Designs.
Oh, I love alliteration. I'm all about it. Yeah.
I named my kids alliterations.
Did you? You've got to share those with us.
Shane Scholar and Rebecca Rayanne.
Ooh. I like
That and if they ever get monograms,
Uh-huh.
hers is RMR and his is SMS. I
That
like
is
balance.
very important to have a good monogram. You
It
can ask
is.
Sarah Williams at Framed about that. She sometimes will send us pictures, us in the creative club, pictures of people's odd monograms. She's like, very unfortunate monogram. Okay, Mary says Mill Creek Designs. Sandy's would be Champlain Designs. That sounds very fancy, Sandy. Shannon's would be Middletown Designs. DLB Creations says McNabb Decor or Highway 119 Creations. I feel like Highway 119 could totally be a business name. Like, I don't know why that sounds like something I've heard before. Sesame Street. No joke. You got to be kidding me. Oh, my goodness. Chauncey Design. Very fancy. I'm going to have to make that a post on my Facebook page now. And
Yes, you do.
yeah, that'll be fun. I can't decide what color to make my little Nutcracker's outfit. I've done the easy parts of his face and his little crown on his hat. Should it be like red and green or like navy and red or
He needs some red.
I do agree with red
with maybe some green accents like on the little sleeve caps or something?
and navy pants.
Yes. Juanima says old 341 Designs. Angela says go pastel. Well, I feel like the colors I've chosen so far don't work well with pastel, but I have a second one. So that's probably what I'm going to do next.
I have two more over here to paint too. So
Lauren and I saw how many extras of these the guys had cut to sell at the vendor booth. And we were like, we need to paint a few samples. That way people get an idea of how they could paint these guys.
You need to do a glam one with your cheetah leopard
It's a good idea.
foils.
Oh, that is a good idea.
I could probably still glam this guy up. I could put some like leopard print on his little hat and in his boots and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona Street Arts and Crafts, Holyfield Designs. Hey, Nancy Beeson. Nancy, if you're just logging in, we were sharing what our business name would be if we had to name our business after the street we grew up on. Mine was Poor Farm Designs. Flat Top Designs.
I gotta go get a pallet.
All right.
Be right back.
Okay. Oakland Park Designs. I feel like y'all don't have nearly as funny business road names as I had growing up. Michelle says all streets are spices. We got lucky. Oh, from the Sesame Street. It was named Sesame Street after a sesame seed. I see. So there was probably also Garlic Street, Turmeric Street, Ginger Street. Knock of Nowhere Designs, Jan says. County Road 10 Designs. Okay, let me find a red to use on this guy. Natchitoches. I can't even say that. Natchitoches, Texas. The paint trigger. That sounds fun. Marie, we're going to miss you at Southern Adornments Live this year.
Yeah, I just had so much going on.
You've had a busy year.
Yeah, and we went to the lake this weekend, but Becca had a friend go with us, so we came back today. But other than this weekend, I don't have a free weekend again. And I thought that weekend was going to be my first free weekend, but they're having a homeschool entrepreneur day for homeschool kids, and Becca has her first vendor booth.
Oh, fun. What's she going to sell?
Perler bead jewelry.
Oh, fun.
She makes earrings and coasters and keychains and bracelets.
Now, the perler beads are the ones you heat up, right? Like you heat up with an iron. Does she use an iron? Is that what she does?
I didn't let her use the big one because it's clunky and I didn't want her to burn herself. But during prom days, I found one that, no joke, it fits in the palm of your hand.
Wow. Like
it's this big.
Perfect for a kid and for that project.
Yeah, and it was only like $18.
That's great.
So I was like, I feel comfortable with you being semi-unsupervised with this.
Yeah. Well, last night, Lauren and I were wanting to make a so last year at Southern Adornments Live, we had a banner on the wall that everybody could interactively kind of paint and add color to. And so we wanted to make another one for this year's event, and I realized I didn't have any brown paper. So we went to Walmart. Walmart was completely out of brown paper. So Lauren said, I bet Lowe's has it, for people who want to use it as a drop cloth. Of course they did, but there was a $12 roll, and then there was like a $25 roll. Well, the $12 roll, they only had one left. It was the last one. And it looked like the end of this roll had been like jammed into the ground. It was like smashed up and wrinkled on one end. And I'm like, I really don't want to pay for the $25 roll. Like, yes, I can afford it, but I'm like, I don't know.
It's not necessary.
Right. It's just totally not necessary. And so I told Lauren, I said, I think I've seen online where people have ironed this brown paper before and kind of brought it back to life if it's real crinkled and like messed up. And so we took it up to the service desk and I said, hey, this is the last one left. I didn't even have to ask for a discount. He's like, say no more. Boom, boom, boom. He types into the thing and he goes $3.12.
Oh, wow.
Sold. And so we walked out of there with 140 feet of brown paper for $3. I was thrilled. And when we got home, my iron is no longer in my house. For some reason, it has been taken to the shop for some kind of project and never made it back to the house. So, but I did have a Cricut heat press. And so I got that thing out and started like sliding it along this paper after we cut off the amount we needed. And it worked like a charm. It didn't make it 100% flat, but it was way better than it had been before. Totally usable now. So that worked.
Banners have gotten like super popular.
They have.
And Marie, last year when we did this, we laid this big brown paper out on our shipping tables out at the shop. And Lauren and I took chalk and freehanded the entire banner, like drew the letters, drew all the little elements. And then after we had the chalk done, then we got like a really large round tip brush and black paint. And we kind of went over our chalk lines. Well, that took forever. Like the black paint was just soaking up so fast.
Oh, yeah.
This time, Michael last year for Christmas had gotten me that little projector. It was like a little Kodak Luma projector. And I'm like, ooh, we're going to get the projector out. So while I was cooking in the kitchen, Lauren whipped up the design on the iPad. When we popped this little projector up on the wall, stuck our paper up there, within 10 minutes, we had the entire thing sketched out because we didn't paint the whole thing like colors. We just took those jumbo Posca markers that are like ones, and we traced over the lines that were projected. It made us drawing this thing out like so fast.
It happened super fast.
Is it the Morp ones? Have you seen those? They're like this big and they have the round tip that looks like a bingo dauber.
No, it was like a Posca, the giant.
Yeah, the Posca with the
okay. I didn't know if you'd seen those are Posca markers. It's their MOR''P. I think, and I think they're made for like graffiti and posters and stuff like that.
I do have the graffiti ones from Artistro, but they have like a rectangular head on them,
like a chisel.
Yeah, and I don't like a chisel.
Yeah, so. The ones from Posca look like bingo daubers. It's got the felty round pad.
That'd be perfect. I'll have to look those up and get those for next time. I told Lauren another idea that I had, and I didn't have this till today, was that I need to draw out like a map of the United States on some brown craft paper and have everybody kind of mark where they're from on there with like a little Posca marker or something, make like a little dot where they're from. That would be fun.
That would be cool.
Laura said she's been watching the replay for the last 2 weeks, helping her mom in the hospital. She watched the replay yesterday, and Bo saw and smiles and says, "Tell Miss Tamara I said to tell him he said I said she isn't live." He said, "Oh no, is she in heaven?" You never know what a 4-year-old will say. Well, tell Bo I said hello and I'm alive and well. That's funny. I could see, though, where you said she isn't live anymore. He probably thought she isn't alive anymore.
That could be very confusing for a little guy.
Yeah.
I'm an adult, and I might have misinterpreted that as well.
Well, we did lots of other stuff then besides just prep for SA Live. We did a lot of prep for SA Live, but we had some alliteration planning last night.
Yep. We're planning a fun little event for inside the Painters Clubhouse in January, and so we came up with like a name for it, and it's very alliteration friendly. So that was fun.
That makes me smile.
Yep. Lauren is very good at getting me to like get things done, like help me plan things out, make decisions. I don't sit there and second guess myself about everything. So I just need her to come by once a quarter and kick my butt in gear.
Okay, Tammy's watching on YouTube and she has a question. She says, I'm new to Painters Clubhouse. I currently only have 10-inch round wood pieces. I noticed that most of the templates that you have are not made for 10-inch pieces. How do you resize an image? Oh, I can answer that. So when you go into the file in Painters Clubhouse or on any template and you open up the zip file, there is 4 sizes of templates: 18 inches, 12 inches, 8 inches, and 6 inches. If you want to resize for a 10-inch, I would open up the 12-inch file. And then you just go to the calculator on your phone and use 10 divided by 12, which equals 0.833333. So you could print that at between 80 and 83% to fit that round.
It's easier to size down than size up. So always start with the larger template size and size it down instead of trying to increase the size of a template.
Well, if you're trying to increase the size of a template, something's going to be cut off.
Right. Because it's not going to fit like inside the paper lines. Sarah says it's the teacher in Lauren that makes her so organized. I don't know. I used to be a teacher. It didn't stick with me. I think I'm more teacher than I am creative as far as like my creative brain gets in the way.
And when I went down this summer, your mom is always like, "Oh, I'm so glad you're here. You can take the stress off of her."
Yep. I'm not a details person either, so that's part of my problem. I get easily overwhelmed by all the little details of something. And planning Southern Adornments Live is like planning a wedding. I mean, there's so many details that go into it. And sometimes we'll be in the middle of discussions and I'll look at Lauren and I'm like, huh? I mean, it's just overwhelming.
I want you all to realize that last night, I mean, SA Live is like less than 6 weeks away. I mean, we're like, what, 5 weeks out now? She realized that she never ordered tablecloths. That's a need. We have to have tablecloths.
Or baby wipes, or paper towels, or brushes. I just took for granted that I had taken care of all those necessities months ago, and apparently I was like waiting to find out what our final number of attendees would be, and I never did it. So,
needless to say, we made a lot of orders in the last 2 nights.
Yeah. Got it all taken care of at once. Don't worry, it already started showing up on our porch this morning.
Oh, that's good.
Like, what is all this stuff? I said, don't worry, it's all stuff for Southern Adornments Live. Which Tuesday, we're going to begin selling tickets, virtual tickets to that event. So if you're not able to attend in person, we would love to have you join us virtually. There will be 2 different options. You'll be able to buy a ticket to just be like a fly on the wall, meaning just be able to watch and kind of see what it's all about. That also gives you the added benefit of being able to buy your ticket early during our early bird promotion for next year's event. So if you know you want to come in 2025, you definitely need to be a virtual attendee so that you can buy tickets as early as the people who are there in the room. Because there's definitely an advantage to being able to buy immediately on the first day. Last year and this year, we offered a VIP status to anybody who bought their ticket on the first day we released them between then and midnight. And I think about 80 people took advantage of that. And so those 80 people are all getting like a special shirt, a special like swag item, early time to shop in the vendor booth. Plus they get to enter the conference room and pick their seats first. So lots of little perks there.
And I have seen the swag. It's good swag.
Definitely special.
It's good swag.
Sandy joked and said, are we going to do finger painting classes this year? Because I almost forgot to buy brushes. Don't worry. I saw what some of these ladies show up to these events carrying. It's like a craft room in a box. They probably would have enough for all of us. But yeah, the other option, if you don't want to just be a fly on the wall, you can be a participant virtually. We'll have an option, and there's only like 100 of these available, but we will have a kit that you can buy, and we'll send you all the wood blanks to craft along with us from home. You will have to grab your own paints and brushes and things like that, but we'll send you all the pieces to the project. Tammy says, thank you. That makes sense. Talking about resizing. Do you think this will work on PowerPoint? Like resizing a template in PowerPoint?
Well, PowerPoint can be very funny because it depends on what your slide size is set at. Because If slides are set to like an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, then that's what they're going to print to 8.5 by 11. But if they're set to like screen size, then screen size is typically more of an elongated rectangle. So that wouldn't.
I guess I'm confused about why she would be opening it up in PowerPoint.
Me too.
Because when you open our templates and you click on them, they open like a PDF.
Yes.
So it won't open in PowerPoint. It'll just open as a PDF, and you'll go to File, Print, or whatever printer button is on your device, and then you'll adjust the scale there to 83%, the print scale. So normally you have scales that say like fit to page or something like that. You'll do like custom scaling. You'll click custom and change it to 83.
Christina wants to see what we're painting.
Oh, I'm working on a nutcracker. I like him a lot better when I hold him up in the camera for some reason. That's really
Well,
weird.
the blue on it.
Isn't that funny that I really don't like it looking at it like this, but if I hold it up like this and look at it on the screen from a little bit of a distance, I really like the way it looks all together. A lot better.
I painted this attachment, and I'm working on this one now.
I painted a white square.
Way to be an overachiever, Marie.
I'm base coating.
I love the little banner behind you. The little clouds and rainbows. That's
This
adorable.
one?
Yeah.
That's a Erica.
It reminds me of
that one.
something Erica would do.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see Angela's question?
Oh, no, I didn't. Go ahead. I was
Angela
laughing at
says,
Sandy's
any
comment.
idea how much the blanks will weigh from SA Live? Got a budget for the baggage fees?
That's really hard to estimate, I feel like. I'm thinking like there's at least one.
Well, here's the good news. There's going to be a shipping station set up.
Right. Yeah.
So
but I'm also thinking like if they buy anything in the vendor booth, that totally throws off the weights that I would even estimate, you know?
Mm-hmm. The first year that I went and I packed in like a medium suitcase, you know, the suitcases that like nest inside of each other. That's what ours do. Ours nest. So I didn't take the small one. I took the medium one. And when I came home, it was fully expanded and stuffed to the max. In addition to a carry-on that was stuffed to the max. And I was at like 49.5 pounds with like a cap of 50 on Southwest.
But they allow you to check up to 2 bags too.
They do, but I didn't pack 2. I only packed 1, thinking I've got extra room in there. I'll be okay.
Nope.
Roxana always has an empty suitcase, and she loads her clothing in a suitcase that can nestle in the bigger suitcase. That way the empty suitcase is her.
Roxana is smart.
Yeah, that's the item suitcase. Yeah, no, she's a professional traveler. So when I went to Dallas, luckily Maria Martinez was there and she drove. So I sent all my stuff with her and she mailed it to me.
Oh, yeah. In Dallas, we weren't shipping stuff home yet, but we started doing that at last year's event. This year, we'll have a shipping station set up too. So if anybody needs to do that, that will be an option. But as far as the weight of the blanks, I don't know. I can't imagine that they would be any more than maybe like 6 pounds altogether. I just think that, you know, then you add on like the stuff from your swag bag, and then you add on things you buy in the vendor booth. Like it's going to add up for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna add up to more than what you think it is. And like, I don't think if you just had like your stuff from the classes and just had your swag bag, it probably wouldn't be too bad. It's when you go shopping at the vendor booth that's what gets you in trouble.
Yeah, because the deals we have at the vendor booth are really good. You're not going to want to, you know, you're going to want to like bring your extra spending cash. Marie says, is there a fee for virtual participation besides the kit? How much is the kit? So when you buy the virtual participant kit, it comes with access to the virtual event. So that won't be any extra. So if you want to be a fly on the wall and just watch, it'll be $47. If you want to get the kit and have access, it's $247. And it'll have 6 projects in the kit. Hey, Judy.
And really, your supply list for that is not much more than your paint colors.
Mm-mm.
The kit that's going to come to you is very thorough. It's very...
Yep. I need like a needle or something to poke this. It's all stopped up. When is SA Live? It's happening November 15th and 16th in the Smoky Mountains. That's a Friday, Saturday. On Saturday, the second day of the event, that is when we will make the announcement that afternoon from the stage, where the next year's event for 2025 will be and what the dates and all that. We'll be releasing all that information. And so if you're a virtual attendee, you'll have access to buy your ticket for 2025 that day. I thought I might get out like this little white Rider bottle and add like some little dots to the top of the crown on the nutcracker and maybe add some little like squiggles or something. I don't know. We'll see. You know what Charlie told me she wanted to be for Halloween today?
What?
She wants to be an artist. She's going to wear a little apron and carry a paint palette and some brushes. And she said, I want to be you, Mom. I'm like, oh, that's sweet.
I mean, if that doesn't melt your heart.
I know. She's precious. Wendy says Charlie is precious. She is. She wrote a little like thing about me at school, and in it was talking about how she wants to be like her mom when she grows up, and it mentioned how she wants to go do famous parties. I said, what are famous parties? She goes, like at Southern Adornments Live when you get up on the stage. I was telling somebody about this. They're like, in her eyes, you're probably famous. But yeah, probably. To a kid who wants to be the center of attention, and I was that kid when I was little. I wanted to be like either an actress or a singer or something on a stage. I had no idea it would be this, but it's kind of funny.
It makes you famous.
Yeah, they probably do. Judy has a friend that goes through her closet and decides what she's going to give to Goodwill. Then she takes that to wear at the painting convention, leaves the clothes in the hotel, so she has an empty suitcase to carry all her goodies she buys home. So she takes the clothes she's going to donate with her in the suitcase and then donates them before she travels home. That's an interesting approach. Never would have thought to do that. But I guess it keeps your suitcase from being empty on the way there and potentially, like, I almost feel like it would be more likely to get destroyed in transit to the airplane and back with nothing in it.
Right.
Hey, Nancy, I'm glad we could keep you company. She's headed home from her husband's high school band competition. There's so many things going on this time of year. Okay, I don't know what else to do to this little nutcracker guy, so I'm gonna set him to the side for a minute and paint like a pastel one or something. What color are you using, Lauren? Are you painting one of these right now?
No, they're next.
Oh, you were doing the ho 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 one.
I'm finishing a pumpkin because I realized that my candlestick upstairs still had a 4th of July on it. So.
Actually, I might add some gold like sparkles to his outfit before I'm done. Like some gold. Hello, Lisa. Chatting with Lauren and Marie. If you're just now logging in, they are members of our Painters Clubhouse. If you want to join us in the membership, you have until midnight tonight to do so. We do have some bonuses that we can send you once you sign up. I forgot to even talk about those earlier, but I can bring them up here on screen if you would like to hear about them. When you sign up, you're going to be getting access to our door hanger beginner lessons. You're going to have new lessons every month that are going to keep things fun and exciting. We teach 2 projects in the clubhouse every month. We give you a template and a tutorial for each. We have guest artist tutorials, monthly spotlight techniques, and also you're going to get access to a growing library with over 100 different tutorials and templates in it. And they're all organized by category. I saw somebody comment on my live that I did earlier today, and they said, the library, access to that library is worth the $47 a month alone. They were talking about how wonderful just the library is. So that speaks volumes. Then, of course, we were talking earlier about the Zoom paint parties. These ladies host some of those each month, along with Miss Sandy, who was in the comments earlier. It's a great opportunity for you to get to know other people in the clubhouse. We have weekly powwows on Fridays where I share highlights that you might have missed. I give out high fives to the members, and we kind of celebrate your wins, plus talk about what's coming up next. And then you get 20% off every day at shopdoorhangers.com to buy wood blanks to go along with your tutorials or supplies. We also have a DecoArt discount code that you can use, which is really great. You can use it on the DecoArt website. And if you join tonight, we're going to send you 2 different bonuses. The first one is access to our wood letter workshop recording. So you can watch this and learn 3 different ways to paint wooden letters: florals, rustic barnwood, leopard print, and zebra print. And then we're also going to mail you a welcome kit. It's going to have brushes, paint palette earrings that you can paint yourself and assemble, paintbrush ink pen, a Painters Clubhouse sticker, and then we also threw in a bonus window, snowman window ornament, which this is what it looks like all painted up and assembled. And there's a video tutorial that'll walk you through it. And then here's a little look at just a few of the designs that we have in the fall and Halloween categories inside the library. Like I said, there are over 100 different tutorials in there. So this is just a small sampling of some of them. Then there's the little nutcracker I just painted. So that's what he looks like in pastels. The tutorial is actually in pastels. I just painted mine more like primary colors just now. There's also Snow Plays Like Home, reindeer with glasses, retro ornaments, so many really cute ones that you can just get started with right away. Plus, we're going to be teaching you some new designs coming up. Somebody mentioned a moment ago that they were getting their poinsettia pocket cut out. This is what she was talking about. It's this really cute design Maria Martinez is going to be teaching. She's got a really cool denim painting technique that you guys are going to want to learn. And then November 4th, Lauren and I are co-teaching this North Pole Cookie Co design with 3D letters for the words that spells out cookie, and then 3D cookies. And then she also is going to teach us how to incorporate like spackle to make it look like frosting on the cookies. And then we're adding faux sprinkles on top of that. So that'll be really fun. The next day, Melissa Howington, this is actually, I think, on election day, November 5th, Melissa Howington's going to teach the nutcracker design inside the clubhouse. So I'm really excited about that. Yeah, so normally our tutorials aren't this early in the month, the 4th and the 5th, but with Southern Adornments Live happening the very next week, when we get home from that, it'll only be one more week until Thanksgiving week. And so we thought, let's just get them done at the beginning of the month. That way anybody can kind of tune in and paint on the replay when they've got time in November, because I know November is kind of hectic. It's getting close to Christmas at this point. I need to get some of my Christmas shopping done. Eunice says, I want to join the vault. Can you explain it, please, with the coupon? We don't have, I guess the vault is probably what she's referring to as the library. The library with all the tutorials comes with your Painters Clubhouse membership. So if you just go to paintersclubhouse.com and sign up, you will get access to that vault library, so to speak. But there isn't a coupon this time around, so just go straight on over there. You can choose from $47 a month or $470 for the entire year, and that's going to get you 2 months for free. Sandy loves the cookie design. Lauren designed that one. Judy says, is that one in the shop? Not yet, but it will be. It probably will be by the last Tuesday in October when we release the companion pack inside the Clubhouse. Dan says, can I just add that if you have a question for customer service or on the group, they always get answered very quickly, sometimes immediately. That is so fabulous. We sure try hard, Jan. I feel like sometimes we do miss questions when they get sent to my business page as like a private message in our inbox. Those can get lost in the shuffle very easily. So if you have ever messaged us through the private messenger to the Southern Adornments page and you didn't get a response, it's not because we don't care. It's just because it's kind of crazy over there and hard to keep track of. So you can always email us at info@southernadornmentsdecor.com, and that reaches directly to our customer service. So if you took the Festive Flip Door Hanger Workshop and you can't find the recordings, you can email us. If you don't know where to log in, you can email us. If you're having troubles with an order, you can email us. We definitely get back to you quickly, and I have a really great customer service team. They're fantastic. Okay, Wendy needs help, y'all. She said, I am almost always sell crafts that I paint. I made 7 round door hangers. I feel like this is a math question on a test at school. And I sold 2. There were fall and Halloween. I sold them for $35. Should I sell them cheaper? I've never sold my crafts. Things take... I don't know what, I think it typoed, so I'm not sure I understand the last part. They either take off or they don't sell at all. I think that's what she means. So she made 7, but she only sold 2. What are y'all's opinions on this? I think she's very new to well, she says she always sells crafts she paints.
I think 35 is reasonable.
I'm at 35 for basic designs.
And I wouldn't go cheaper than that.
No, definitely not. Especially with even Luan is crazy expensive. The underlayment, like it's $28, and it used to be like $14 when we first got it started. Plus, you got time to sit and paint. And from experience, you're going to have things that it seems like you can't paint enough of them, that they just sell and sell and sell. And then there's other things that is very similar, and you're like, I'm going to have the same success, and you'll sell too. And that's just part of being in business. And you never know what's going to be that one thing that takes off and the thing that doesn't.
I agree with that. And then too, if you've always sold crafts and this is something new that you're starting, sometimes it just takes a little bit of time for people to kind of like get on board with it and understand. Like, I don't know what part of the country you're in, Wendy, but I know up north, a lot of people don't even know what a door hanger is. So they're probably looking at it like, that's kind of cool. What's that for? They don't even know where you hang it up or what you do with it. And so I feel like people kind of have to wrap their head around it and understand, and really, you will eventually get your people. You'll find like people who become repeat customers. She says, yes, I've not painted a lot of door hangers before. Okay, so this is something new. Nancy says hers are $35 to $45. Sarah says 35 to 45 is a great price point for what I've sold for my rounds, and we live in Missouri. Oh, you're in Oklahoma. Well, they definitely should know what a door hanger is in Oklahoma. I mean, like people up north, like Ohio, New York, Connecticut, places like that. If you said door hanger to them, they would probably think you meant like the do not disturb thing you hang on the doorknob. But we do have members in the Clubhouse who are from up north, so they are definitely like educating people up there on what these things are.
Yes, they are.
They're doing a good job of it.
I started making the garlands, and I've sold maybe like 3. And I've made a ton of them in different seasons and stuff like that. So people around here are like, oh, that's cute. I don't have a mantle. And so then I try to tell them like, oh, well, you can put it on a window sill or on a stairway banner or whatever. And they're just going to stare at me and they're like, okay. And then they walk away. So I have that issue with the garlands right now.
That's funny that it's like they can't really think of another place to put it besides a mantle. I know Lauren, if you ask Lauren, she puts them on her windows outside on her front porch as a way to decorate the front porch.
I do.
So that might be a live idea, is to show people this is what you can do with this. You can put 5 ways that you can style a banner.
Yep. Don't get discouraged, Wendy. Keep at it. Oh, Tahisha's from New York. Well, you may not know a lot of people around New York who know what door hangers are, but I bet once you start painting them and showing them off, they'll start taking off a little bit. I had a Painters Clubhouse member, Marie, and Lauren probably remember her, Latoya. I think she lived up in like Detroit or somewhere up north, and she was like a radio DJ. And so she would paint door hangers and take them with her to work. And she started painting door hangers and gifting them to other people who worked at the radio station. So they each had like a unique custom door hanger in their cubicle at work. And so that kind of like took off, and everybody kind of just knew about them because of her. And she really started a successful business with it. Dan says Tamara and the PC sisters are making door hangers a household name worldwide. I did hear of somebody going to a craft fair in California. This was a couple of years ago, and I can't remember if they were standing at a booth that sold door hangers or what it was, but one of them mentioned Tamara or Southern Adornments, and the person was like, oh, you follow her? I follow her too. And then all of a sudden it was like they totally had something in common there. And I'm like, that's so wild to me that like people all the way across the United States connect to each other just because they follow the same door hanger artist online. That's fun.
That is fun.
Sandy said you'd be surprised how many in the Smokies that think I'm talking about the paper doorknob hangers. Lots of Northerners moving in though. Oh my goodness. Wendy said I painted ornaments on canvas one time, and I just painted like 20, and everything they wanted more. So I needed to paint up to 145 of these 3-inch square canvases. Yeah. Sometimes, like you said, you can't paint enough to make it, you know, they're just constantly selling like hotcakes. So got to stay on it while you can. Hey, Elizabeth, glad you're back. Wendy says, I just need to have a paint party. Y'all are such a great inspiration to me. Both of these ladies do paint parties. I did paint parties for the first 4 years that I was in business, and then my online side of my business took off. So now I only do like Southern Adornments Live type paint parties with large groups. I don't teach them like in my hometown anymore. Shannon suggested that you take pictures of the different uses of the banners and then print them out and have the pictures as a part of your display.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That is. People are so visual sometimes too. It's like they just have to see it to like see how cute it could be. Okay, I'm going to paint this next one just like the picture, kind of in a pastel color.
Okay.
See how he turns out. I added some metallic gold to the other guy, and I like him a lot better. Like all the gold areas are metallic. Fun yellow. Sandy, she said, you're at the mega party level. Charlie calls them famous parties because I teach from a stage. Shannon says, I have to make it easy to see the purpose, people to stop and read signs. Yep. Or maybe even get like an old window and display it in your booth with the banner hanging across it or something. I don't know.
Ooh, I like that idea too.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Is Emma worn out after being at our house the last 2 days, Lauren?
Heck no.
She never gets tired. I think Charlie's tired. She and I, whoops, I just painted the wrong part of this, the wrong color. She was wanting to make some ramen for dinner tonight, and she busted into tears because I didn't make the ramen the way she wanted me to make it. And I'm like, I can tell you're tired. If you're crying over how to cook ramen, you need a nap.
Her cousin is over right now. He's been over for like 4 hours. I can hear it upstairs. They're still going to town.
I thought I heard little feet running back and forth. I'm like, she is not out of energy yet, if that's her.
Nope. They did sit downstairs and watch a movie for a little while. So they did slow for just a little bit.
She recharged. She's back at it.
It takes a lot for that girl to slow down.
Yep.
I can't tell you how many people are always like, I wish I had her energy.
I think I said that yesterday.
Becca's used to being in bed at like 10 every night, and her friend had her up till like 1 o'clock this morning.
Ooh.
And you could tell she was just struggling all day. And then her friend left to go home, and she looked at me and she goes, Mama, it's my nap time.
How old is she?
She'll be 11 in October.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so funny. She's like grabbing her blanket and her pillow, and she's like, do not disturb me. It's like, yes, ma'am.
She knows how to self-care. I like it.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because she wears sleep masks all the time.
I do
like
too.
that. No, I mean 24/7.
Oh.
Yes, I mean all the time. So like we'll be in the car and you can look back and she'll have her little mask down. Like, this is me time.
Is she introverted? Is that her way to recharge?
No, she is the complete opposite of me. She is just like her daddy. She is bubbly and will talk your ear off. And me and my son are the ones that are just like there.
Yeah.
So like this has changed me a lot being in this group. If you would have asked me to do this 4 years ago, I would have been like, no, hard pass. Don't think so. Like that tutorial, that the very first one that I ever did, it took me like 17 times to even push record.
Mm-hmm.
And the very first live I ever did was on the Southern Adornments page. It was the Mountains Are Calling.
Yes, I love that one.
I swear I was so nervous that my paintbrush was like Morse code, shaking, tapping on the door hanger. But it's helped me have more confidence in myself doing stuff like this.
I mean, you're teaching classes in a brick and mortar store now, and like you weren't doing that really before. So you've really come out of your shell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember that first year I met you in Dallas even. I felt like you were still very shy then, but you've opened up even more since then.
Oh, Roxana and Erica threw me on the front row of
I
your
remember
event.
you wanted to like crawl in a hole, and I'm like standing right in front of you like, hey!
Yeah.
You're like, hi. You wanted to like duck under the table. Yeah, if you hang out with extroverted people, we'll bring you out of your shell one way or the other.
Yeah. And my husband, he's like, I can tell a huge difference in you just by going on the Zooms and talking to people.
Yeah. Well, you know, Erica Wallace was like that when she first joined the Clubhouse. Very quiet, very introverted. She was terrified to do the first thing that I asked her to teach, that like rustic American flag design. That was in 2018, and she was so nervous to do that. But seemed like after that, she just sort of opened up and came out of her shell a little bit. And
It's
now,
funny because she's
wow.
become like my best friend
Aw.
inside the Clubhouse. We have a lot in common. We're the same age, and like us talking about it, it's kind of like we had the same experience.
Yeah. I just think that's so cool. Like in what other world would you meet somebody online and become best friends with them? I don't know. And have all these things in common. I don't know. I just think it's so cool that, and your guys' story is not unique. There's lots of other people in the Clubhouse who've met people who, and some of them have met people in the town they live in that also are members of the Clubhouse, or the town next door. And so now they get together and craft together, or they travel to these live events together and stuff. It's so cool to see those connections being made. I mean, me and you, Marie, met up at Myrtle Beach last summer at Tamara Gregory's house. And there were several of us who were Clubhouse sisters. And Tamara has like a place near Myrtle Beach. And we all went for the weekend and hung out. And I mean, that's just so special. I think that's really cool. Hey, Angel.
Like, I was gonna say, like, utilize the Zoom calls, because that's where I've seen people like really make a connection. You can only gauge so much from the comments that people make. But like I said, when you hear those people's, like Lauren said, we just pretty much just sit there and host the thing, and then all of these people start making connections and talking, and then there's like 3 of them that created their own little subgroup, so they talk weekly and get together and check in on each other.
That's so awesome. Well, you know, as adults, sometimes it can be hard to make new friends. And so that's why a lot of us are friends with the same people we went to high school with, or the same people that we go to church with. And while there's nothing wrong being friends with the people you were friends with in high school, I still am. There's something to be said for finding friends at this age of life that like the same things you do, and kind of, I don't know, like you can go through new and different experiences with people.
Yes.
Hello, Kathy. My mother-in-law's in the comments. She's coming to Southern Adornments Live for the first time this year. That'll be fun. We're going to sit her and park her right at the registration table. She's going to be like our door greeter. Because she's a very good people person. She'll make friends with everybody.
Well, registration is going to be booming this year. So.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be so busy.
If I thought it was busy last year.
Yep. Lauren, we need to get your teacher friend Penny to come to a Southern Adornments Live event.
I know.
I feel like she would fit right in with all of us.
It is hard, like when we put in personal days, because of the size of our building, we're only allowed to have like 2 people out on personal days at the same time.
No, so you've got dibs on that weekend.
Makes it really tricky to do stuff.
Yeah.
I finally got more than just a white square.
What you working on? Buffalo plaid. I thought I heard frog tape being pulled up there.
Yeah, I didn't have a baby wipe, so I used microfiber cloths.
Oh, that's smart.
You know, I just dampen it a little, and it works really well.
Okay. If my nutcracker has white hair, should his mustache and eyebrows be white, or should they be black? Because the example picture has black eyebrows with white hair.
I think it should be white and white.
So do white on top and then do the little bill across his hat black for contrast.
Or gray.
Yeah, gray might be. I could incorporate a little gray in it.
I was just thinking about white eyebrows, white eyeballs, white mustache, white teeth.
It might be a little bit too much, huh? Need some contrast. Everybody's eyebrows are always a little darker than their hair anyway, usually. Oh, gray was a good call. I feel like this is going to look good. He looks very distinguished, like a little old gentleman. Sandy said she's done this one before in pastel and she used gray. Okay. Michelle says, what's a Ryder bottle? Essentially, it's like a paint bottle with a squeeze tip on the end, and you can squeeze it out and like create little patterns and designs. I used it on my little Nutcracker's crown to create like the little dotted lines and stuff. And then I also did his teeth with it, which 2 of my dots are running together. So he's got one giant tooth on the bottom that I'm gonna have to work on. He's kind of goofy looking.
You painted the inside of his mouth red.
Yeah, it's kind of like watermelon sliced red. And then on my pastel one, I lightened it a little bit because I felt like it was too strong with all the other colors.
Okay.
Deanna is watching over in the Festive Flip group. She said, good evening. Just got back from a successful art fest. That sounds fun.
That's good.
Speaking of that, Lauren and I were talking about maybe trying to go to Penner's Conference next year in April. Have you ever been to one of those, Marie?
I have not, but it's been on my bucket list for like ever.
Yeah, I think it's in Atlanta, Georgia. Is that right, Lauren?
Yes, there's one in the spring in Atlanta. And I said, I'm only using 2 of my personal days for SA Live this year.
Yeah. So if we plan to go, maybe you can go and we can just swing through Cookville and pick you up on the way.
100%.
Nashville is our meeting place.
Yep. There's my Aunt Kay. Hello, Kay. I'm glad to see you're safe from Hurricane Milton. She's down there in Florida. We're just painting and hanging out, answering people's questions, talking about Southern Dormants Live, painting, all the things. Tonight's the last night to sign up for the Painters Clubhouse. We are closing the doors at midnight. And we don't have any plans to open them again until the spring. So if you've been thinking about joining, now's your chance.
And we've already been planning out what's going to happen in the next months.
We've got some really fun activities coming up.
It's a good time to join because it's right before Christmas. So even if you weren't doing it as an event or like a business for yourself, you can learn how to make all kinds of different things as gifting for other people.
That's a good point. I feel like those wood letters are a really good gift. They're easy to paint. They're easy to customize for the people you're painting them for.
And you're like right at wedding season. So there's people getting married. So that's a great thing for them for their new home together.
Like a housewarming gift.
Mm-hmm.
Celia said she joined today. She's excited to go through all the tutorials. Welcome, Celia. You're going to love it. I did a live earlier today and was talking about like how some of these ladies probably feel guilty spending this kind of money on themselves and stuff and doing this for themselves. And we got to joking around about how our husbands don't feel guilty spending money to go golfing or hunting or fishing or, you know, buying all the things that they buy for their hobbies. There's nothing wrong with paying a little membership fee in order to like continue to learn to do the thing you want to do. And you may be excited about the tutorials, Celia, but I think you'll find that the Clubhouse like community is going to be one of your favorite parts of the whole experience.
Well, Marie, I don't know about you, but I've never made it through all the tutorials or anything.
Even I haven't. I've watched some of them, but there are some in there that I've only watched parts of because I've been busy when the person was live and haven't actually watched the whole thing.
I think I've watched like 85%.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
How many of them have you painted?
Maybe like 12%. So not a lot.
But I think you can learn a lot just from watching some of them because especially the guest artists, a lot of them will teach you something in a different way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, technique wise, I think I've learned a lot. Like my Lola behind me here, I've applied so many different techniques that I've learned inside the clubhouse in just her alone.
Yes.
Well, it's like, how can I go back and watch something when there's always something new that I like?
And that's one thing I like about the Kajabi app is how organized it is. And it gives you little check marks for everything that you complete. I think that motivates me to watch things because it says completed and it's greened out.
It, and so
it does.
Competitive.
And I travel a lot for work. So that's something that I can just play through my car and I'll be listening to it as I'm driving to my next class.
That's interesting. Kimberly just joined the clubhouse. Welcome, Kimberly. She's excited to finally get to experience the PC Sisters. And then Kathy said those beautiful ornaments would be a great gift. Do you think she's saying like wink, wink, hint, hint? Last year I sent her some of my ornaments as a gift. I painted 15 sets of these last year. I gave her a set, my mom a set, my sister-in-law got a set. I mean, so many people in my life got those as gifts this year. So I think she's hinting around that I should make her another set of them.
That's funny.
They are like collector's items. Each year there's going to be a different design. So I really think I'm going to like this pastel one. I've already started adding a little bit of leopard print.
Oh, he's cute.
It's going to be cute. I think his skin almost needs to be darker though. He looks a little too white, like washed out.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do for not the beard part, but the like chest part that's underneath?
On the blue one, I did it blue to match like the pants. Look up here, Lauren.
No, so it brings the blue throughout the whole.
Mm-hmm. And I put the blue on the top of the hat. It was black originally, and I thought it was too much black, so then I added the blue to the hat.
Okay, so mine's like hot pink and teal.
Cute.
So would you put teal there?
Probably, or the gold, yeah. Or the gold on the belt buckle.
Yeah. Yeah. I painted the yellow right now, but I'm going to put gold on it. I just like to base coat. Okay. Gold might look good there too.
I'm going to go back and paint over his face with the warm beige or whatever this is called. I used natural buff, but I think it's too light for him with his little white hair. That's the great thing about the paint. You can just paint right over it if you don't like it. So if you're a newbie or a beginner painter, you don't have to sit here and worry about, what if I mess up? You can just paint over it. In every project you paint, I feel like you're going to learn a little something. It's going to make it easier for the next time.
I think I'm going to have to go on a brush hunt. At home, I have everything like at my fingertips, and I got to my studio like 7 minutes before.
Oh, you go right ahead.
We started. I'll be right back.
We'll sit and look at your Henrietta or your Lola behind you while you're gone. If you're joining the clubhouse and you want to paint Lola, she is in the workshops category of the clubhouse library, along with Henrietta, the chicken door hanger that we did last fall. So both of those are really great tutorials you can start with if you want to paint something with like an animal on it. The Lola cow was very popular last year.
Both of the door hangers behind me are in the clubhouse as well.
Oh, that's right. You taught the sled one with the little jingle bells.
Yep.
And then I taught the skates with the foils. I don't know if that was the same year or when that was.
I don't know. I just remember that was the year that you did the Jingle Mingle.
Yes.
So that one actually has 2 tutorials inside the Clubhouse.
Oh, Celia said, I'm a cookie artist and I love the community support. So I'm looking forward to adding another creative outlet in community. You're not the first cookie artist that's joined us. I think we've had people I know we've had cake decorators. I can't say 100% sure if we've ever had cookie artists. So that's interesting.
So this one that she did, this is foil.
Mm-hmm.
And then the silver down here is foil. And then we added fur to the top of it. So that was a fun way. And then the sled uses a Deco Art paint pack for like rust. And you can kind of see like it's textured. And it has multiple like shades of stuff in there of paint colors so that it looks like old rusty sled rails and old jingle bells.
Very vintage looking, like reclaimed or salvaged. Love that. Mary says, oh man, I just found the Painters Clubhouse starter pack and I just sent in an order. I don't know what the rest of it says, but that's funny. If you end up joining the Painters Clubhouse, we do have a starter pack that you can purchase if you're kind of feeling like not sure if you've got all the right supplies. You can get all of this that's featured here in this image for $100. It comes with 5 wooden rounds, an apron, a paint palette, just like we're using, my custom signature brushes, a Painters Clubhouse water cup. You can either drink from it or wash your brushes out in it. Just don't do both. It also comes with a few sponge pouncers, a paint marker, a chip brush, all the little goodies you're going to need. If you don't need the wood rounds, you can get the rest for just $65. But those wood rounds are only going to cost you an extra $35, making them $6 each. So I feel like that's a really good starter place, especially for those of you who maybe can't afford to buy the companion pack every month yet, or can't cut your own wood blanks yet. It's a really great way to just kind of start off with something that you can trace templates on. Because even if it's a design that we teach that doesn't go on a wood round, you can usually put it on a round and create a background around it to make it work. Similar to the way that Marie is doing right now, she's transferring the festive flip door hanger onto a square shape and kind of just using the template on a different shape. So you can totally do that. But that's available right after you join the Clubhouse. It'll pop up on the very next page after you pay to join. And
it's a fantastic value.
It is.
I'm gonna say I've been doing this for a long time and I still bought it.
Well, that's funny. I'm glad you did. Celia says, I want to paint the fall pumpkin and tree hanger, but can't find the orange on the list. What orange is a good substitute? One that's not too bright. I have all the
orange. Canyon orange.
Canyon orange and spiced pumpkin are one of my favorites.
Warm sunset's a good one too.
Mm-hmm. It's a little bit of a deeper, warmer orange.
This is Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
This is spiced pumpkin.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the side is warm sunset.
Yeah, all of those cover really well too. They have good coverage. So I feel like that's the most important part.
Yes.
Great question, Celia.
Very much so.
Angela says, I got the snowman ornament template because I showed it to my mother-in-law. She wants one. Does your finished one have resin? And if so, how much? I have the UV resin I can use. So when you sign up for the Clubhouse, we will send you a welcome packet with this little snowman ornament in it. It does not come with resin. Mine doesn't have resin in it. But since you have UV resin, you can add that to yours if you want. We have seen some of our Clubhouse members add resin to these. I would caution you to put some painter's tape along the edge of this ornament because it is like 3 pieces of wood that are glued together, and resin will seep out the edges if it's not taped up. Okay. Adding little details to my nutcracker. I got distracted.
I feel like I put resin in the one JD painted last year.
I think you probably did. I think you did it at the live event with some extra resin that was in a packet. Or maybe I dreamed that up. I don't know. It feels like that happened.
I don't know where it is though either, so.
It may be in your Christmas decorations if you put it on the tree.
Yeah.
Did you pack it up with all your other decorations?
It's either there or it's in my ornament stuff in here.
Angela, the only reason I thought of that is because I have made these ornaments before that are in our ornament kit, and I have to tape off the edges as well to keep the resin from seeping out. So we teach that in that ornament workshop. We will have a resin project at Southern Adornments Live. So if you are a virtual attendee, we're selling tickets on Tuesday. If you decide to be a virtual attendee and get the kit, it will have resin in the kit. I will caution you, though, that it's going to be more resin than you're going to need for the project we're using it on. So it would be very smart to, before you go to resin your project, have other things on standby that you could put resin in, like this snowman window ornament or some earrings or something else that you could put the excess resin on so you don't waste it. Mary says, is there a way to cancel my first order? I think she was trying to get free shipping or something. Mary, that's not something that I can help you with. It's not something that you can like go in and do yourself. But if you'll email us at info@southernadornmentsdecor.com, they might be able to help you facilitate that. It may just depend on how far into the fulfillment process your package is. I don't know if, if how long ago you submitted it and all that. Tahisha's also in a candy cookie community. That sounds like fun. Somewhere online recently, I saw where somebody was selling like a cookie decorating kit, and it came with videos and showed you how to like do it all at home. I was so tempted to buy that because I don't know. That's something that I like to play with and toy with, but I don't want to buy all the supplies for. I just want to do it once in a while. What'd you say, Lauren?
That'd be fun.
It would be fun. Sometimes I will buy those. Have you seen at like Walmart? They sell the ugly Christmas sweater cookie kits that you can decorate at home. I buy those and I do those with the kids sometimes.
We have a couple bakeries around us that at Christmas time will do like a cookie decorating kit, and they're fresh baked sugar cookies, but they give you like little bags of colored icing and sprinkles, and
that's smart. I don't know if any of our bakeries in this area do that or not.
It's not like the bakery like at Walmart or Kroger.
Yeah.
It's, like the independent bakeries.
Yeah.
I've even seen a couple of the girls that have like, they bake out of their home and sell stuff, that they'll do stuff like that at Christmas time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I need a darker turquoise for this. Or something. Bluegrass green it is. I feel like a lot of these I've been able to reuse some of the colors that were in my palette. So the teal I put on his jacket is actually the teal mint that I mixed white with yesterday when I was painting. And it pairs really well with this bluegrass green that I'm adding now.
It's always good when you get to reuse your paint colors.
Yep. Most of the time I just let them sit here and dry out and I toss it. Because I know I'm going to be using something different on the next project, but I'm kind of winging it on this one.
Okay, Celia sells a starter cookie decorating virtual class on her website.
Oh, I'll have to check it out, Celia.
Okay, so do you send the tips and the bags and the stuff like that in like a grocery list in that? Or is it just like the tutorials and we have to go buy all of the other stuff?
If you need somebody to test your product, you just let me know. That would be a really great Friday Fab 5 thing, I think, to like tell people about, because then they could offer to do that with like their grandkids or something like that. Charlie loves doing stuff like that. I bought gingerbread houses at Sam's Club last year, and life got away from us last year. We never actually made them. So I'm hoping that they're still good this year and I can drag them out and use them again.
I mean, do you plan on eating them?
No, we throw them away when we're done with them. But I'm
fine.
wondering if, like, you know how it comes with frosting? The frosting may be no good at this point.
Oh, frosting's easy.
Yeah, maybe.
Royal royal icing. It's just powdered sugar and water.
Okay.
Mm.
Maybe I can do that.
In a past life, I thought I wanted to be a baker, and then I realized that I hate baking. I just like decorating.
You needed somebody else to do the baking part and just let you do the decorating part.
I liked making all the little fondant pieces.
Yeah. I think my struggle with it is like that feels like a lot of work put into something that somebody's just going to eat. I mean, I think that's why I like door hangers. It's going to last for years.
Yeah. And then the dishes afterward.
Yeah.
Like I'd have my cakes and then I would turn around. I'm like, oh. Both sides of the sink, all across the stove, just mixers and bowls and.
Okay, the kit comes with cookie cutters, stencil, bags, and recipes.
Oh, that's cool. Like that the cutters are included too.
Yeah, because I definitely don't have any cookie cutters.
Our big hang up in recent years has been that we went dye free.
Makes
and so it does, like making red icing and green icing. It's a little trickier.
Lauren, my homemade strawberry glaze turned out really good today.
Did it?
Yes. So last night I got ready to make one of those strawberry pretzel desserts, and Lauren's like, "Don't you make it with Jell-O?" I said, "No, I hate Jell-O." So I always make it with like the glaze that you buy in the produce section at Walmart. Well, I forgot to buy any, so I googled a last minute recipe for it, and it said to puree some strawberries, and then mix in cornstarch, lemon juice, vanilla, and sugar. And then you kind of like bring that to a boil and it thickens. And then you pour that over some sliced strawberries. It was really delicious.
Don't you have a freeze dryer?
Yes, I do.
I've seen where people make food dyes out of dehydrated or freeze dried strawberries. They take the strawberries and get them super dry, put them in a blender, and it creates a powder. And when you introduce it into a hydration, it turns red.
Like the icing is hydrated.
Oh, Lauren, I already have powdered strawberries, powdered blackberries.
So there you go.
Powdered bananas, which bananas wouldn't tint something, but.
What can we freeze dry that would be green?
All I could think of is spinach, and I don't know how weird that would be.
I bet you wouldn't taste it, though, if you just use a tiny bit.
Sorry, but maybe that is worth a try.
Hey, I say give it a shot, and if your kids don't taste it, you're just getting more veggies in their diet.
I mean, I don't know what dehydrated spinach tastes like. Does it get intensified or does it weaken?
I don't know. We could start making protein smoothies with it or something.
But yeah, I had just seen a TikTok on somebody do that.
Teresa said kiwi. Kiwi actually gets lighter in color when you freeze dry it. It's not as green. So I'm not sure that the dye and like that would make a good dye.
I'm not as particular about yellow and blue either as I am about red. Like red is like, we don't do red in our. But I will, like, if I need to, like, if it's going to cause a meltdown, especially a meltdown like in public or at school, like, we might lean towards the blue. So if I had an alternative, if freeze-dried strawberries worked for red icing, then I could give on the green and use.
Yeah, because green probably has yellow in it, and you don't do yellow.
Yeah, we don't do yellow very often. So we started our dye-free journey because of ADHD in my daughter. And so she was getting ready to turn 5 when all of this happened. And I was like really nervous about school and starting kindergarten. And I teach first grade, or was teaching first grade at the time, and pediatrician like blowing me off. And I'm like, listen, I teach kids that are 6 years old. I know what is normal, and her behavior is not normal. And so anyways, they wouldn't listen to me. So we're on a snow day and I'm like, we're going to try this. So we cut red dye. And really when you cut red dye, like a lot of stuff you buy, like you just cut it all. It's just easier. So we've cut most of them. But in the process, we have figured out that she reacts to yellow like she does red. She had a bag of Cheetos one day as a snack before we went into a doctor's appointment. And I kid you not, this child was jumping off of the exam table and then like flipping upside down. And like, I mean, it was just like, boom, 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 boom,
I believe it.
while we were waiting. And it was crazy. And then not long after that, we went to the movies and she got popcorn at the movie theater and it has yellow in the butter flavor. And we left there and my mom looked at me and was like, what did she have? And I was like, she just had popcorn. And she was like, listen, you called after the doctor's appointment and said that she was crazy. And now she's crazy after the movie. I think we need to address yellow. So, okay, you're probably right. So we have cut yellow and red.
That's wild how it affects some kids, and then other kids you don't hardly even notice the difference, you know?
It is very wild. I have some organic food coloring, Celia. I've got some from Kroger. That's their Simple Truth brand. And some of the colors are okay. But red, you know, red when you mix it into icing is just one of those colors, like, and this is one of those. It's like you can't get it red. And I've read online like where you can buy like blue sarsaparilla or I don't know, something. Blue something, and like that's supposed to be a good one. But red is just one of those colors that has been hard.
I'm almost done with my blue nut or my pastel nutcracker.
I'm almost done with my teal and pink one.
I have another not white square.
Is that what your tree's going to be on?
Mm-hmm.
That'll be cute. Here's my pastel nutcracker.
I like those colors.
I like the little details in his outfit. I just did little white dots on the yellow and the little swirls and stripes on the sleeves and the vest.
His complexion looks better too.
Yeah, I went with the warm beige, and then I like it. Got a whiter nose. I couldn't decide if I should go with the lighter or a darker nose. The example one has a darker nose, so I can't decide.
I like the lighter.
Okay. I'm kind of wondering, should the gray of the mustache and all that be darker gray, or you think it's okay?
I think he looks good.
All right. He's done. He might need some glitter, but we're going to let him dry first. Yeah, I wish I'd known that about the strawberries for the dyeing, because I definitely have some powdered strawberries already here.
Well, I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Oh, that's right. You will. The last time you were here, do you remember I told you about how you could mix the strawberries with milk to make strawberry milk?
Yes.
So it's kind of like that, only more concentrated, I guess, to get it red. Oh, he's cute.
He might need some details.
Yeah, I like my pastel one better, and I think it's because he's got details. So maybe I need to go back over my more traditional one and give him just a little bit of jazz on his jacket or his something. I feel like it just needs a little something. We got a few more people watching. If you guys have questions about the Painters Clubhouse or painting in general, feel free to pop them in the comments. We'll do our best to answer. We're just hanging out and painting whatever we're painting tonight and chatting. Tonight is the last night to join the Painters Clubhouse before we close the doors at midnight. Maybe I can do blue.
So I printed my template off like 3 times and I couldn't figure out what was going wrong. I forgot to turn the double-sided off.
Oh, I hate that. That happens to me sometimes.
Because my printer at home doesn't do double-siders, so I always print my templates off there.
Yeah.
So I printed it off when I got to the office and totally forgot that it prints on both sides.
No, no.
I think I can make it work.
You're a pro at templates. I have confidence in you.
Because I'm over here ripping it apart. I started using my projector like really heavily. So I don't really print templates anymore.
Oh, that's right. You were the one who was using them to just project it straight down onto your wood, like overhead, right?
No, I hang it on the wall.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I
project
thought
at my
you
wall.
did.
You hang the wood on your wall?
Yeah, I have in my basement, there's a screw on the wall, and that's my designated door hanger tracer wall.
That's brilliant. So do you just leave the projector set up there?
No, I have a table that's even with it, so
Yeah.
I just put it on top of that table.
It's very smart.
And I open the image up in Procreate because you can move it anywhere on Procreate and it's going to stay in place. So it's really easy to line up that way.
That way you're not constantly adjusting your projector to fit the wall. You're just adjusting the image.
Mm-hmm.
Smart. Gonna try to fix my Nutcracker's buck tooth or whatever he's got going on here. Looks funny. Okay. Carrie says, where do you get the smaller wood projects that's on the wall, as well as what are you working on? Lauren and I are both painting Nutcrackers because we had a whole lot of these at my shop, and we're going to be bringing some of these to Southern Dormants Live and sell them in the booth. So we thought it'd be nice to have some little painted samples. You can grab these at shopdoorhangers.com. That's our online shop. I'll drop that in the comments. These are the 6-inch size, and so they're really great for like painting as little tiered tray decor, or you could like line them up on your mantle or hang them on the tree. They don't have a hole in them, so if you want to hang them on the tree, you'll need to like staple some ribbon and like a little loop to the back, something like that, or some jute string to make a loop so that you can hang them on your tree. And then I think Marie is working on her festive flip door hanger, but she's painting them on square wood panels instead. Yeah, see, I knew you could make it work. Just flip it over. That tree is kind of symmetrical on each side, so you can just.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I added some leopard print and swirls. I like him a lot better.
Yeah. It gave him a little pop of interest.
This is more me. He just looked way too traditional. I was like, he needs a little jazz. Michelle says she's in Georgia. And then Tammy said, I work for a Kroger here in Arizona. If you get the Simple Truth brand of food color, it's made from all natural fruits and vegetables. Have you tried those, Lauren?
Yes, we buy lots of Simple Truth brand. We've got the food coloring, we've got the sprinkles.
I don't guess I've tried that. I think I might have gotten something like with a Kroger coupon that was Simple Truth, but I guess I didn't realize it was all like natural stuff. Little by little, I'm trying to get away from so many toxic chemicals in our home, but they're in everything. So I feel like it's just like one little thing at a time I'm going to try to get away from, try to make small changes. I used to be really good. I made my own laundry detergent, and then I got lazy and started buying from Sam's Club. I need to get back into doing that. It's just work.
Another question, 20% off is on any of the products in your shop. Just so excited to start something new. We are still without internet from the hurricane, but I will be a couch potato tomorrow checking out what I can on my phone. It's not everything in the shop, but it's almost everything in the shop. Like you can't use your 20% off on big box of blanks, but you can use your 20% off on the ornament set, on the candlesticks.
Mm-hmm.
Does it work on the paintbrush set?
Yes.
So it might be really like big box of blanks might be really about it.
Yeah, and that's only because right now we've got the big box of blanks is like at like the best deal you can get it at. So if we ever increase the price on big box of blanks, we will probably give Clubhouse a discount at that point. Oh, thank you, Tammy. She said the Nutcracker looks good. Mary, I'm just going to put a little thing right here that you can click for customer service. That way you don't have to try to spell my business name because it's info@southernadornamentsdecor.com. And so often people misspell that. So just click this link. It'll open up a contact window and you can just type in your message and put your response, like your email in there, and they'll respond to you through your email. I think he'll look even better once I get like a clear coat put on him, but I've got to wait till this like Ryder bottle ink dries. Are any of you guys painting things as Christmas gifts this year?
I normally paint something. I have not even started thinking about Christmas
I
yet.
think that you probably hadn't even started thinking about it. It feels like it's still far away, but it's not. It'll be here before we know it.
I did little polka dots and stripes on them.
Oh, I love that, Lauren. That's adorable. It's very cute. Kind of like jewel tones.
I got some new family members, so I'm going to do some of the portrait ornaments.
Oh, that's a great idea. Do you have one you can hold up and show? Marie did a tutorial for us in the Clubhouse a few years ago showing how to make these out of wood slices. That is so cute. I love the plaid shirt on him. That is awesome. I bet those are a big hit when you give those as gifts.
They are.
Feels so
And we had an elementary school close, so I did the school for the principal.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, our community's outgrown this little school. It's been an elementary school since 1952.
Wow.
Like my mom went there and I went there.
Yeah.
Becca was there for 3 days before I decided to homeschool.
You had to at least carry on the tradition, even if it was only for 3 days.
Yeah.
Tammy says, what is Procreate and is it expensive? Procreate is simply an app on your iPad that you can buy. It is only, is it $10 or $15?
It was $10 when I bought it.
It was 10 when I bought it, but for some reason I feel like it might have gone up to like $14.99. Either way, don't like hesitate to buy it if you want to learn how to do like art on an iPad, because it is such a fun app. And I really feel like you get a lot of bang for your buck with that app. They do like updates once a year or so with new features and stuff. And so, you know, once you buy it, you get those updates for free when they do them. I do have a course that teaches you how to use the Procreate app. It's at procreate4makers.com. And essentially I teach you how to use it to like create a door hanger template, or if modify a door hanger template, or to color a door hanger template. A lot of people will use it to like kind of plan out the colors of how they're going to paint a door hanger before they actually sit down to paint it. Our designers on our design team use it to design the actual door hangers that we sell in our shop. So it's a very versatile app. It's like a digital notepad. You can like doodle and draw on and paint. Tammy likes our leopard print on the nutcrackers. Thank you, Tammy.
I use Procreate for the little people too.
Yeah, from like a photo or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that's not free-handed. So I taught people how to go in on the app to be able to do that.
Yep. Laurel, we're all kind of working on something different. I painted a couple of nutcrackers. Lauren painted a couple. And Marie is working on her festive flip door hanger.
I've done some attachments tonight.
I should have grabbed some of those like 4-inch ornaments that we're planning on selling in the shop at the vendor booth and painted those. There were some that were coming off of the laser today.
Oh, yep.
They were cut, but they still hadn't been sanded, so I didn't grab them just yet. Missy said, so far I've painted the lips template onto makeup bags for some of my nieces and cousins, and we'll add gift cards. I think she meant to say Ulta gift cards, but I also wanted to get a door hanger done for my sister-in-law for Christmas. That's a great idea. I think the girls will love the makeup bag. I would love to find time between now and Christmas to paint a Santa face on like a sweatshirt or something, because I used to have a large Santa face on a sweatshirt when I was younger, and I got rid of it, and I wished I hadn't. So it's kind of like on my bucket list to do that. Michelle said, I saw something somewhere about the chicken coop, but I can't find it anywhere. It sounds fun. You may be talking about the chicken coop template in our shop. Let me pull it up and see if this is what you're talking about.
That template might not be in the shop. It might.
It may not be, because it was like a designer marketplace design, but it was designed by Denise White, who's a Painters Clubhouse member. So she may be selling it on her own website. I'm not quite sure. Well, ladies, I don't know how long y'all planned on staying, but I'm done painting my pieces. And the couch is calling my name. So I may go ahead and wrap this up for now. And if anybody wants to join the clubhouse, go to paintersclubhouse.com. You can sign up there. I appreciate you ladies hopping on and chatting with me for a while tonight. It was fun to catch up with y'all.
It's always fun.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us. All right, y'all, go join the Painters Clubhouse. I've talked about it over and over again this past week, so I feel like you can go and watch any one of my videos and learn all about it if you just now heard about it for the first time. Go back and watch the live I did earlier today. I talk about it in a little bit longer and kind of go into more details and stuff like that. But it's a great place to be, and we're closing the doors at midnight tonight, so I don't want anybody to miss out. All right, y'all. Thank y'all. Bye.
Bye.